Now I hope he stays out of the race. But you know, what we need in this country is an energy policy that is not just an energy policy. We need a revolution. An energy revolution where we shift dramatically from fossil fuels to solar, to wind, to biomass, to biodiesel, to biofuels, to energy efficiency, to fuel cells. We need that shift to happen by 50% by the year 2020, a 50% reduction in fossil fuels. We need to say to the oil companies and the coal and nuclear companies that no longer are you going to run energy policy in the United States, that there's going to be a tilt towards clean energy and renewable sources, that we're going to fight in the Congress for legislation that says, not the one that was defeated by oil companies just last week by one vote, a tax incentive to keep solar and wind. It went down. It went down because the oil companies were against it. And they had a fuel efficiency standard of 30 to 35 miles per gallon that passed the Congress. That's pathetic. It should be 50. We need fuel-efficient vehicles. We need a transportation policy in this country where we don't just build highways, where we have commuter rail and light rail, where we have a national passenger transportation system, where we care about land use policies that work, where we care about open spaces. And you know what? The environment is not just clean energy. That's a major part. But it's also being a president that cares about our national parks, cares about our wilderness areas, cares about wildlife, protecting the Endangered Species Act. Here's my position on the Endangered Species Act. Leave it alone. Get your paws off. It protects America's wildlife. It protects those species that deserve protection. And here's my position on the national parks. We don't want Marriott running our national parks. We want our national parks run by our government and preserved with proper funding. We need to preserve our wild and scenic rivers and keep our water in America clean. We need a water policy that takes into account the needs of states in the West that are drought-stricken. We need to preserve and reuse conservation when it comes to water. We need to make sure that America's commitment to the environment is absolute. For me, there are no compromises on the environment. I am proud to be the first Western governor that sued the Bush administration when they wanted to build condominiums on the national forest. The Bush administration, when they wanted to say that we're going to have new source review, which is another word that we're going to violate the Clean Air Act that help polluters. And we're going to be an administration, in the Richardson administration, that will not allow drilling in our ecosystems like Alaska or the Otero Basin. We're going to be an administration that cares about education. You know, yesterday in the debate, I put my hand up. By the way, I'm thinking of not attending any more debates. Just kidding. But you know, I said, why haven't we talked about education? Education is the underpinning of our democracy. Better schools, the need to be competitive, to educate our workforce, to keep families together. If I'm elected president, I will be an education president, a real education president. And this is what we'll do. We'll have preschool for every child. We'll have full-day kindergarten. We'll get rid of junk food in schools. I'm sorry. Did I lose your vote? We will be an America that cares about education and science and math. Why are we 29th in the world in science and math? We need to be number one. We need 100,000 new science and math teachers. We need science and math academies to get our best and the brightest, to get America back to be number one. Why is it that China and India and Europe graduate 4 times as many engineers as we do? That's competitiveness, and that has to stop. But a key way to upgrade our high school curriculum, we did it in New Mexico, and I would do it as president. A massive federal program to increase art in the schools, music, dance, sculpture, writing. That's the way you open up the minds of kids and young people. Bring creativity into the classroom, and the math and science will follow. This will also be an administration that recognizes the most important element in our educational system. That's our teachers. That's our teachers. Our teachers today in America, they're disrespected, they're dishonored, they're underpaid. I will have a starting minimum wage salary of $40,000 to all teachers in America. And we can make that happen with a partnership with the states. And here's my position on the worst unfunded mandate of them all. It's called No Child Left Behind. End it, scrap it, gone. It's got to go.